we're all talking Corona. So look, let's spend a few minutes talking about how people are impacting positively our community throughout this entire coronavirus situation. The name Marcus Preciado will ring familiar with many longtime radio listeners. For those of you that don't know Marcus, he's been a guy who's listened to the show forever. He played college football at San Diego State way back in the Marshall Faulk days. He's been a big part of the local ministry community. And even though I'm not particularly religious or even Christian, it doesn't matter. I still know that these guys motivate and they reach people at a different level. So I get a text message from a longtime great friend of the Scott and BR show, Marcus Preciado. And he catches me with, I've got Heath Bell, the former Padre, Nick Novak, the former Charger, and I've got Nick Hundley, the former Padre, who, as far as I know, is still playing with the San Francisco Giants as of last year. So he said, I got all these guys, and we got Chick-fil-A, and we're going to go show our appreciation for these first responder types who are trying to keep everybody healthy. So here's my man, Marcus Preciado. Marcus, first of all, great to see you, man. How's everybody, you, family, in this crazy Corona quarantine? What's going on, man?
Good, man. We're staying safe, following the distancing protocols as necessary, but within that, like you said, not sitting on my butt, man, trying to see how can we make a difference during this crazy time.
Yeah. And, I think anybody who's listened to the Scott and BR show on radio for years knew that Billy Ray and I were friends with Miles McPherson from the Rock Church. He would call me the Hebrew brother. I would call him the Christian brother. And, you're very in tune with that church and, more importantly, that community.
Yeah.
So getting Heath and Nick, former star athletes, to be involved in what you got going on, just kind of explain the whole thing from your community, the church community, these guys, and putting this together.
Yeah, sure. I met these guys probably 10 years or so ago at the Rock Church when I was working there. I was the campus pastor of the Point Loma campus, and recently transitioned out about a year and a half ago to start my own ministry called Cielo Sports. And the mission of it is sharing God's love to and through athletes. So with these guys like Nick and Keith, we do a lot of events, a lot of outreaches. We have a lot of fun together, just letting people know that there's hope and that God loves them. Really simple. But we were chatting last week, actually, as a matter of fact, with Nick Hundley, and he said, what can we do locally to make a difference? And so we pitched around a couple ideas, but we couldn't get off of, man, these frontline heroes, Scott. As I think I'm get to be here and we're doing this, I have my family here and we're practicing social distancing. I think of those people, those front lines, man, that are risking their lives. So we talked about, well, why don't we get together and feed them? And that turned into me reaching out to my brother who owns a Chick-fil-A in Grossmont here. And he jumped on as well. Then Nick Novak got involved because his wife is a nurse there that tended to my mom before my mom was passing away. Then Heath Bell got involved. So now it's turned into 300 meals we're going to deliver tomorrow at Sharp Memorial to bless them and just let them know, man, they're loved and they're appreciated.
It's really cool, man. It really is. Who are the recipients? I mean, not that it really matters. I mean, your heart's all in the right place, and your brother owning the Chick-fil-A, and these three guys using their local notoriety as former star athletes in town, and you passing on the word that you want to get passed around. But I mean, who's on the receiving end? Who are these 300 meals that are going to be distributed? Who are these people?
There's the COVID-19, the coronavirus response team. I believe every hospital's put together something similar. So it's a response team that is tending to anybody that has corona, thinks they have corona, has got to get tested. So there's more, a little less than 300 of them. So what we're doing, we're adopting that floor and all of those coronavirus responders and take care of them.
So the thing is about anybody who works in a hospital right now, it doesn't matter if you're on the corona case or you're not. You're exposed to germs in a hospital. And, you may be working in one section of the hospital with people who are in dire need of your nursing, doctoring, whatever it is, but you're trying to protect them at the same time from any germs that might come their way. I have a longtime great friend. You'll appreciate this, Marcus. Guy named Mark Rabb. Mark Rabb, does this name sound familiar to you?
No, it doesn't.
Longtime great friend of the Scott and BR show. He told the story many times about how he one time played in one Charger game. David Bin got hurt.
Oh,
Mark Rabb lived here in town. The coach, who was a special teams coach, called him because he was his coach at USC. And Rabb steps in and snaps as a long snapper for one game. as a
Wow.
Charger player. And so he's one of the most lovely human beings you've ever met in your life. And he had a stroke, and he's in the hospital. And so I've been talking to him, and he's been telling me that in ICU, the nurses and doctors are doing such a great job of keeping him healthy and protected from, any germs or any COVID related concerns. So just bringing meals to these people, whoever they are in these hospitals that are still willing to work like that because they care about people. I think it's wonderful what you're doing, man.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Yeah. So give me the game plan. What happens? You and Heath and Novak and everybody else and Hundley just get in the car and just go walk over and go, yeah, we got Chick-fil-A for everybody who wants it. How's this work?
Fortunately, obviously, there's a lot of protocols that exist right now to keep them safe and keep them clean. And fortunately, Nick Novak's wife, Leah, she works there at the hospital, and she was able to cut through a lot of the red tape for us. So now tomorrow we'll be showing up. Like I said, we'll have the 300 meals along with, let me give a shout out to our brother Heath Bell, that Heath, man, as soon as he heard about this, how can I help? He'll be providing 300 of his 7 Cold Brew, one of your awesome sponsors right there.
Right behind me.
Friends Network is amazing, Scott. And you guys are a part of this because I met Heath through, doing stuff with you guys and made a relationship with him, and he's one of your sponsors. So this is an extension also of the Scott BR show. That's the way I feel. So we'll be showing up and then going through the proper protocol that's established and get a chance to go in and take care of them and let them know they're loved. And man, I can't wait to see their faces when they taste those sandwiches.
Yeah, dude, it's somebody might be watching or listening right now and think to themselves, oh, come on, Chick-fil-A meal for some people who work in the hospital. I'm telling you right now, those people who work in that hospital who get that Chick-fil-A, it's not the Chick-fil-A.
Correct.
It's the gesture of, we care about you. We appreciate you. It's those same people that are in New York City at 7:00 every night, banging their pots and pans hanging out of their windows. So for everybody in the healthcare profession and the first responder profession, I think what you and Heath Bell and Nick Novak and Nick Hundley are doing is just fantastic work. And it shows the people in town, we all care about you. We appreciate you. I think that's the gesture, man.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, man. And you know what? You've set a great example of this. You guys, I've been a friend since the VMW days, right? So the vast morning wasteland. Ever since then, Scott, I want to commend you and your team. Whenever something came where you guys can make a difference and have some fun while doing it, you guys have always done it. So you've been a trailblazer in San Diego. And you know what? I'm kind of a product of kind of being involved in, as a great friend, because you've been a great example, brother. And you know what? I feel compelled to do the same thing. Unfortunately, I'm in a spot through Cielo Sports now to be able to make a big difference. Yeah, man. Thank you for saying that, Marcus. It's true. I might, I say it's true, I don't mean what you said about us is true. What I mean is it's just about letting people know they're cared about. That's all. That's all it is. When there were crazy wildfires in town and we drove through the smoke to deliver cases of water to the firefighters on the front line, we didn't do it because yes, they needed it, but what they needed more than anything else was the moral support of we're all back here saying thank you. We appreciate you. And I think that's kind of really what it's all about. So we've been trying to figure it out. Like, what are we doing to help besides just putting the word out? And I love to hear that you and Heath and Nick are all involved, because you're right. You make us feel like we're a part of it. So can we just go through the details one more time? I know Alex has put everything up on the screen, but just one more time, let's just go through the where and the when and the why. Tomorrow we're going to show up around 11 o'clock, make sure we get there in time. The feeding actually will start around 11:30. We have to go through the protocol that's established once again to make sure we're safe. It's not like we can have a gang of people there tomorrow going in with us. For those of the people that want to help out remotely, on our site, it's our biggest initiative now. They can just go to cielosports.org and make a donation, and every $10 they donate represents a meal that'll be delivered. But that's the details of what's going on right now. Yeah. The reason I want people to know about it is not so much because they want to be able to come and actually physically help, but more than that, because maybe this isn't a one-time deal. Maybe what happens is after this, your brother owns a Chick-fil-A. Yeah. Maybe I know somebody that owns, 20 Jersey Mikes of the 30 Jersey Mikes here in town. Yeah. I know somebody who owns, 5 pizza places. Maybe what I'm saying is maybe what we could do is we could take it from this is the beginning
and maybe we do a weekly or even a daily sort of delivery to some other place around San Diego that needs it.
You know, Scott, I love it. As a matter of fact, we're already on that. And we're already talking about how can we turnkey this and not only do it for the Sharp hospitals throughout San Diego, but other hospitals and other institutions that could need it. So that's why the whole initiative is called Help the Heroes, because even though it's happening tomorrow, we already have plans for doing others throughout San Diego. But the more people we get involved, Scott, the bigger we can make this. And I'm happy to be the hands and feet and the guy that kind of coordinates this, as people don't have time to put these things together.
Yeah, you be the hands and the feet, because you got to have the hands, seriously, and they should be clean. And you got to have the feet because you got to be motivated to move. I'm going to be the eyes and the ears and the voice, and I'm going to start putting this out to the world here and see if we can't do this in more places for more people. Marcus, stay safe, stay healthy. Great work that you're doing, and take care of those people on Tuesday down at Sharp Memorial. Thank you for what you do, brother.
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.
All right, man. You too. I think that's very cool. Thank you, Marcus. Way to go, Heath. Great job, Nick Novak, Nick Hunley. I think for Nick Novak, it's personal because Novak's wife is working in that hospital and she's working around COVID patients. So great job to all of those guys. And what made me really feel good about that was I've been sitting here thinking the same thing. Like, what can I do? I'm young enough, I'm healthy enough, and I've got the time. What could I go do to help? And then here comes Marcus, who says, you connected me with Heath, which connected me with Nick, and so it's really you guys who are, helping through us. And so that made me feel really good, or at least I'm going to go to sleep feeling good about that tonight. I'm going to convince myself that we're actually a part of this thing tomorrow. Way to go.